What's up, fellow go-givers? JUJUAN, Buford Broadcast in Detroit, Michigan. And, I woke up this Father's Day, and number one, happy Father's Day to all the fathers. All fathers deserve respect and regard. And, what was on my mind today when I woke up was the assignment, right? And what's the assignment? What's the higher level assignment? It was a conversation I have with so many people in my circle so often about what's motivating me, right? Because I'm slowly but surely reaching a point where, quite frankly, money as an issue will no longer be an issue, right? Where I, quote unquote, have enough to live a life of satisfaction, meaning I'm at a point where the value prop is so strong. I'm taking so much action. I have so much longevity that it's not difficult anymore to, quote unquote, find clients and find people to serve, right? So I'm in a position where, thank God, I'm at a point where I can go out here in the marketplace and earn a living without, quote unquote, having a boss. Now, here's the thing: when you're an entrepreneur, you don't do entrepreneurship because you don't want bosses. I hate to tell you, because my clients are my boss. The vendors, people who rely upon me for my leadership and activity are my bosses. My family, my bosses, right? People who are fed and edified by the partnerships I've developed are my bosses, right? But the bottom line is that I get to wake up in the morning and I get to choose, right? So I've reached a point where I can live a life of satisfaction. You look at the prefix, it's either Greco-Roman or Latin word. I think it means enough action, right? So as long as I take enough action, I can really curate the future I want for myself and my family. And it's a blessing to be there. And, the conversation that I oftentimes have, particularly with younger men, is when you reach that point, what's still motivating you, right? What inspires you to wake up at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m., not out of fear, not anxiety, but genuine excitement for what it is that you want to accomplish. And for me, it's about the assignment, right? And what's the assignment, right? If you really want to operate at a high level, you really want to make a difference, leave a legacy, feel like you've been here for a reason and that you made an impact. And I think ultimately, speaking specifically to men, but this I think is applicable to anyone, but specifically to men, and particularly from men from the community I hail from, what's the assignment, right? Because we have so many smart people, so many witty people. I remember I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and I'll never forget this. He looked at me and says, "Man, I've been doing my research. I done deconstructed you and this, that, and the other." I just kind of looked at him like, okay, good. All right, you quote unquote deconstructed me, whatever the hell that means. What are you gonna build? So you've deconstructed me. We have people who are so smart, able to deconstruct, tear down other people's buildings. And that's cool, I guess. That's entertainment. That gets you clicks. For people, weak-minded people who aren't nimble, who don't really understand assignment, that's exciting, right? Unfortunately, in our community, playing the dozens and tearing people down for sport, that's entertainment to us. That's winning, right? Low vibration, right? Objectives. But okay, you're able to deconstruct every type of ism you can think of. But what are you going to build? And that's the conversation I want to have today, because that's the assignment. If you're listening to this and you've really made up your mind, you've drawn a line in the sand, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, what is the assignment, right? And the assignment is this. Number one, become valuable. Forget becoming popular, because popular fades. Popularity is cool. You can earn income off popularity. You can buy watches and cars off popularity. You can have momentary moments of excitement, exhilaration off of popularity. But at the end of the day, what you want to become is a man of force. You want to become a man that cannot be denied. You want to become the type of man that at the end of the day, you apply so much pressure. You're so good at what you do that you can't be ignored. And that's really the bag. Investing in yourself, building skill stacks, knowledge stacks, talent stacks, experience stacks, right? Stacks that are so profound and so deep. You're so capable that even on your worst day, you can't be ignored. And as long as you are of value in something, I mean, deep value, you'll never have to really worry about where your next dollar is coming from. That's one of the beautiful things about being a part of the United States and being in U.S. society is, for better or for worse, right? We attach a monetary value to everything. And so if you can save people time, if you can solve problems, if you can create a situation where someone is better for having knowing you than not knowing you at all, you will always be solvent and able. And that is the number one responsibility. That's the assignment, number one. Not all this other stuff that you see online, not all this petty, insignificant stuff that ain't gonna matter 50 years, 100 years, 200 years from now. What matters is you finding a way to be of value, right? Whatever that may mean for you, whatever industry, whatever marketing, arena, whatever the case may be, you got to find a way to become indispensable in what it is that you do, right? And so that's number one. Number two, once you have codified, keyword, once you've codified your process, once you've taken the time to codify your approach, once you've taken the time to codify your value, it's about being the person that can not only feed yourself and your household, whether you are a household of one, household of 2, 3, 4, whatever the case may be, but because you become so valuable and you've codified your process, you figured out how to duplicate your process, duplicate your modus operandus, beyond just simply being able to feed yourself and your family. You reach a point where you're able to provide employment, provide opportunity, provide the means for other people to participate in what it is you do. And it's a long road, but I'll tell you, what they say is so true. Time will either promote or expose you. And if you can avoid the pitfalls, you can avoid the distractions, you can avoid being too caught up in the accoutrements of success, because that's always going to be there. The women are going to be there. The watches are going to be there. The cars are going to be there. Whatever it is that you can buy with money is always going to be there. Whatever you can buy with influence is always going to be there. Whatever you can buy and create in terms of popularity, that ain't going away. If you're of value, that stuff is always available to you. And the next level is understanding that and not being distracted by that stuff. Understanding that stuff's ancillary. But what can you do to create a situation where other people can come into your space and you can provide opportunity for them to feed their families, provide opportunity for them to take control of what happens in their households, to become opportunity providers. And I'm jumping ahead, but become opportunity providers for the people around them, right? That's the bottom line. It's those individuals that really dictate and control what happens in the world. It's those type of individuals that dictate and control the type of decisions people make at their kitchen tables, the type of decisions people make in terms of how they move in their community, dictate how other people treat their community. That's the next level, right? Becoming an opportunity provider because you found a way to teach what you know. You found a way to basically incorporate other people and help them achieve their goals, their ambitions, what matters most, right? That is the assignment, right? Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Let me say that. We don't need everybody. We just need more. We need more people who are willing to step in the ring and basically duke it out, fight it out, right? Be that dog for their family and for their community. And not everybody's going to understand it because the assignment is different, right? The assignment is not Instagram pics. The assignment is not Facebook pics of your vacations and your steak and egg dinners and all the stuff that people do out here to stunt. That's not really the assignment if you really want to make a change in the world. The assignment is become the person that becomes the opportunity provider for other people around you. Because too often in our community, we have a situation where, because we're not the opportunity providers, people have to make certain types of decisions. And it's tough to make smart decisions in terms of your family. It's tough to make smart long-term decisions when your stomach's touching your back financially because you don't know whether that job's going to be there. The responsibility is huge. And then, of course, once again, if you're an opportunity provider, trust me, you are the one who is sought after. You get to make decisions about the standard of living that you have, whether or not a rec center or a liquor store is that on the corner of your block, whether or not the grass gets cut, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These things matter, politically and otherwise, right? So you want to reach that point. So you're not in a situation where people who may not even live in your community, people who may not even care about your well-being, can't dictate the terms under which you live, the conditions which you live. And then, of course, the next level after that is to be able to teach others to do the same, right? Be able to teach others to do the same and be unapologetic, be unabashed about it. You don't need to stunt, you don't need to be loud. I've always heard it said time and time again, people who earn money are loud. People who are the producers are quiet, right? We don't want that friction. We don't want that operational lag. We don't want to have to entertain that BS.com that can become a distraction, right? Know that at the end of the day, you are the bag. Yes, men, particularly men from my community, you are the bag. You need to remember that at the end of the day. If you are doing these things, any and everything that you can acquire or want will end up in your space. It will gravitate towards you, right? You need to know that. Don't be distracted. Stay focused on the focus. Know that you have value because the world is here to teach you that you don't. That you achieving your purpose has to be predicated upon everyone else's wants and needs. You're only as good as the extent to which people can derive and take from you. No. You got to organize your life around, no, you're only as good as to the extent that you put yourself in a position where you can choose who you give to. You got to be a sorter, right? Reaching a point where you are a sorter, where people who come to you, you sort them out. Do they get the assignment? Are they in alignment with the assignment? Right? Are they willing to be accountable? Are they willing to show up early or stay late? Are they willing to serve? So often in our community, we have people who want to lead, but they don't know how to serve. They don't know how to duplicate. They don't know how to build, right? The only thing they know how to do is be popular and tear other people's buildings down. I'm talking to people who want to build taller buildings, right? And yeah, you deal with the competition. That's another conversation for another time. But that's who this conversation is really for. You know, individuals who actually want to build things, create ecosystems, and just know you are going to be attacked. That's why you got to exercise discernment. Do they get it? I mean, are they really excited about the mission and vision? Are they root people? The type of people who are rooted in it. They may not be in agreement with you. They may not always just follow you blindly, but they understand the mission. Are they willing to be accountable to the things that are required to execute the mission, right? Because some people will respect what you do, but they got excuses for days. And you can't work with those type of people. You know, you can't, the definition of commitment is doing the thing you said you would do, even after the excitement of the moment is gone. You got to be around people like that who have that type of accountability. And then, of course, you know, be patient. Some people don't have the skills yet. They may have the passion, they may have the desire, but they don't have the skills yet. And some people are ready to run with you. Some people are ready to jog with you. Some people are ready to just simply walk with you. You may even find people willing to crawl with you, but create an ecosystem where regardless if they get it and are willing to be accountable to it, they express a desire to learn the things they need to learn to roll with you, be patient and accepting of them. And understand that, you know, one of the biggest mistakes we can make is to overestimate what we can get done in the short term, but underestimate what can transpire long term, right? You look around at these entertainment people, these athletes, and they get the money quick, but they also lose it quick, because the moment it gets exposed, they have not become builders, but they're simply, once again, entertainers, right? And usually that has like a shelf life. Right? I'm talking to the builders, right? You got to understand that money really doesn't come that quick. Influence really doesn't come that quick. Power really doesn't come that quick. You have to be willing to pay a price over the course of time. I said pay a time because that's what you're paying with. But you have to be willing to pay a price over the course of time. People have to see you getting it in, getting it out the dirt before you really become credible and trustworthy. And that's sometimes the most difficult part because we want it right now. But I tell you, despite the fact that you're going to get squeezed, let me tell you, the juice is worth the squeeze, right? I'm looking at so many people catching them L's right now. People that we looked up to catching them L's. And if you can create an ecosystem, you can create a situation where you really have ownership of your value prop, you have ownership of your ability to help other people participate in your value prop and teach others, right? Actual agency and ownership. That's the next level, right? That's the conversation I'm having with these young men. That's the conversation I'm having with people who are like, okay, I've made the money, now what's next, right? How do I become relevant? How do I become a change agent for the extended period of time? That's it. Celebrate success in advance. Goodbye for now.